Former US President Donald Trump urged Ukraine to surrender to Russia. He said that even the worst deal between Ukraine and Russia would be better than what Ukraine has right now. Also, House Speaker Mike Johnson demanded the release of the Ukrainian ambassador to the United States. Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy has met with US President Joe Biden and US Vice President Kamala Harris. So why did Trump propose Ukraine to surrender to Russia, and what did exactly go wrong during the President Zelensky visit to the United States? Former US President Donald Trump has urged Ukraine to accept even the worst-case deal in the negotiations with the Russian Federation. Trump said that even the worst one deal would be better what Ukraine has rather than what Ukraine has right now. He said that during his rally speech in Pennsylvania. Also, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that his Vice President G.D. Vance is too radical, and President Zelensky refused to accept the statement. He said that any kind of Trump's plan to end the war in Ukraine, which could include any kind of concessions to Russia, would not work and would not maintain the just peace for Ukraine. Also, former US President Donald Trump has made lots of false statements. He said that the most cities of Ukraine, except Kyiv, are fully destroyed, and it's not true, because Ukraine still is alive and Ukrainian economy still continues to function despite the fact that there is an ongoing full-scale war. Also, former US President Donald Trump criticized President Biden for helping Ukraine to survive. He criticized Biden for allowing Ukraine to repel Russia's invasion. He criticized Biden for helping Zelensky to continue his war effort, to continue his defense of his nation. Former US President Donald Trump said that Volodymyr Zelensky is not willing to accept any kind of a deal with Russia, and it's false information, it's a lie, because President Zelensky earlier said that he would like to accept a peaceful settlement. He would like to seek a peaceful settlement of this war, but according to Ukrainian terms, earlier President Zelensky announced the peace formula of Ukraine, which includes just peace for Ukraine. However, Russian dictator Vladimir Putin still refuses to negotiate with Ukraine in good faith, because he would like Ukraine to surrender to Russia. He would like to see Ukraine as a part of the Russian Federation, but not as an independent state. That's why Donald Trump is wrong about the statement, because such deal with any kind of concessions with Russia will not help Ukraine to establish a just peace. It would only help Ukraine. It would only would be beneficial for the Russian Federation, and would be beneficial for Russian dictator Vladimir Putin. Also, there are some strange statements from the Congress. House Speaker Mike Johnson demanded the release of the Ukrainian ambassador to the United States, Oksana Markarova, and that's the reason of all these angry statements from Trump and House Speaker Mike Johnson was the President Zelensky visit to the ammunition factory in Pennsylvania. Trump was angry because President Zelensky visited this factory with Mr. Shapiro and other Democratic congressmen. President Trump, former US President Donald Trump, and House Speaker Mike Johnson thought that it could be a sign of support from President Zelensky to the Democratic Party and Democratic voters. However, that's not true, and also the White House officially said that this visit did not aim to have any kind of a political aim, any kind of political effect. This was a formal diplomatic visit, because this factory in Pennsylvania produce ammunition, artillery shells for the armed forces of Ukraine. That's why President Zelensky visited this factory, just to say thank you for all workers of this factory who help Ukraine to defend itself, who produce this ammunition shells, and these shells help to destroy Russian army and help Ukraine to defend itself and to repel Russia's aggressive war in Ukraine. Also, there have been some other statements from the Republicans. Republicans in the Congress have initiated an investigation into President Zelensky's visit to the United States, to Pennsylvania. Some US Republican congressmen said that there could be some legal problems with President Zelensky's visit to the United States, and they would like to investigate whether the US federal funds were used to organize this visit of President Zelensky to Pennsylvania. However, in the end of the story, the Republicans have cooled down, and we have other news, breaking news from the United States. Former US President Donald Trump said that he has agreed to meet with President Zelensky. Trump is going to meet Zelensky today at 9:45 a.m. in the morning in New York, and that's why President Zelensky will speak with him and discuss recent and future support for Ukraine. And this meeting will happen because President Zelensky was wise enough not to continue this aggressive rhetoric, not to exchange aggressive statements, and not to say something angry, say something bold in response to Donald Trump. That's why President Zelensky did not respond to Trump's strange comments. Otherwise, instead, he tried to make this meeting happen, and he made this happen. This meeting will take place today, and we will also analyze the results of this meeting between former US President Donald Trump and Volodymyr Zelensky. But all these comments which were made about Donald Trump are really sad and worried because they are creating lots of concerns on whether former US President Donald Trump would like Ukraine to win this war, on whether Trump would like to see Ukraine, but not Russia, winning this war. But we will also analyze the future statements from former US President Donald Trump and other members of his administration. Also, meanwhile, US President Joe Biden has met with Ukrainian counterpart, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, and Biden announced a big, huge aid package for Ukraine worth almost $8 billion. Former US President Joe Biden said that he would provide Ukraine with all means which are important, which are needed for Ukraine to win this war. Ukraine will receive GSOW bombs, also other means of security assistance, ammunition, armored vehicles. Also, Ukraine will receive another Patriot systems and rockets for the system. Also, US will provide Ukraine with some help with training for our pilots will be trained. The United States will help Ukraine to train pilots. And also, US President Joe Biden said that Ukraine will win this war, but will not lose. Ukraine will win this war, and Russia will not win this war. Russia will lose this war. That's what US President Joe Biden said. But as we understand, this aid package would be the final one, because President Biden ends his political career, and another president will be in the White House after the US general election. But it is a really good and wise decision from President Biden to make this the last decision to help Ukraine before the end of this year. And this huge aid package for Ukraine will help Ukraine to defend itself at least until the end of this year. And this is really important statement and really important decision of the White House. Also, in the meanwhile, Kamala Harris criticized Donald Trump's statements on the war in Ukraine. She said that Donald Trump was proposing only a surrender of Ukraine. Kamala Harris also met with Ukrainian President Zelensky. He says that she says that she would support Ukraine. She would support Ukraine to defend itself. Also, she criticized President Trump's statements on the war in Ukraine, and she said that these statements are in favor of Vladimir Putin, and this Trump's plan to end the war in Ukraine means the surrender of Ukraine. That's why Harris criticized Trump and said that she would support Ukraine and will help Ukraine to defend itself. That's why President Zelensky met with her and discussed all important matters on the state of the war in Ukraine. And let's finish our conversation with some interesting article from the New York Times. The Times reported that there are lots of concerns in the White House about allowing Ukraine to strike deep inside Russia with Western-made weapons. As we all know, President Zelensky has been urging the United States to allow Ukraine to strike deep inside Russia with Western-made weapons. It is important because there are lots of restrictions in place which restrict Ukraine to strike deep inside the Russian territory with Western-made weapons. There can be lots of discussions between the United States and the UK to do so, but it seems like President Biden still hesitates to allow Ukraine to strike deep inside Russia, despite the fact that the UK government now is ready to do so. And the New York Times reported about the US intelligence assessment. And there are lots of concerns in the White House that if there is a permission for Ukraine to strike deep inside Russian territory, Russian dictator Vladimir Putin could order a direct strike, a lethal attack on the US military installations around the globe. However, there are no any kind of real evidence of that, and we hasn't seen any kind of serious arguments in this statement, in this article, on whether they think that it would happen, because Russian dictator Vladimir Putin has been bluffing, has been threatening a nuclear war with NATO for many months, but it did not happen even after Ukraine's invasion of Russia, even after the beginning of the Kursk operation. That's why President Biden is overwhelmed with this cautiousness and still hesitates to allow Ukraine to strike deep inside the Russian territory with Western-made weapons. That's all for today. Stay with us on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channels, and glory to Ukraine.